Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 10.
Heavy hearts in our state tonight as the magnitude of that El Reno tornado is realized. New information and stories constantly being shared with us throughout the day. Not only have homes and buildings been destroyed, but lives are now forever changed. And while El Reno was hard hit, parts of Oklahoma City were also affected. And right now we're still dealing with the possibility of severe weather. Meteorologist Jonathan Condor is back in studio tracking the new round. Jonathan.
That's right. We have a tornado watch across parts of northwestern Oklahoma. Take a look at first alert Doppler. Quiet here in Oklahoma City. Look at this line of storms from Guymon all the way down to Amarillo. It's moving pretty quick at about 60 miles per hour to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning for Beaver County till about 10:30 for 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. Here's the storm track coming in to slap out at about 10:41, gate at about 10:42. The storm has a history producing 70-mile-per-hour winds near Guymon. That was a measured wind gust on the Oklahoma Mesonet. Our trackers are out. There's Storm Command. Field meteorologist Michael Armstrong, Shane Helton, they're going to walk these storms across northwestern Oklahoma over the next couple of hours as they move on through. Even though it's lined out, there is a tornado risk. Let's talk about that. Tornado watch for the counties highlighted in green here on the weather maps. This is going to go until 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's Memorial Day, okay? Tornado risk really drops off as you come to the east, but we're still watching for one of those squall line quick spin ups up near Woodward. Woodward, you're under the tornado watch. You have a tornado risk for tonight. Chance to get rain out of it, pretty decent. High chances up north, low chances south, about a 40% chance for OKC. Those storms probably coming through about 3 in the morning. By the time they get here, they should really weaken, so the risk goes down. Got to talk about the flooding risks tonight. What about Tuesday? It's something I don't like about Tuesday for the tornado risk. And then how long does this pattern last? That answer to that question coming up here in a few moments.
Okay, Jonathan, we'll check back in with you soon. Unfortunately, 2 people are dead, more than 24 hurt. Homes and businesses damaged after that EF3 tornado ripped through El Reno overnight. KOCO's Paris Jones has been speaking with residents about how they're bouncing back tonight, Paris.
Yeah, Mecca, you sense an overwhelming feeling of togetherness tonight. Everyone who was impacted by that tornado out here. And just seeing the cleanup efforts today, you notice how important the Oklahoma Standard is.
People are going to find new jobs, have to replace all those cars.
These 4 boys spending their weekend pounding the pavement, helping out a friend living at this house along Route 66 who had to work today.
Anything for friends. Anything.
Sure.
Keep your closest ones closest to you.
They're picking up clunks of metal, tree branches, and debris that popped up after that violent tornado.
There's just so much stuff. It's all misplaced, and we didn't know what to do with it at first.
The storm also knocking over this massive tree just a few feet from the home.
Yeah, we're all just happy that that tree fell that way instead of on his house, because it would have been a lot more devastating if it would have went the other way.
Tonight, the boys, Garrett, Boston, Ethan, and Malik, tell me they don't plan on leaving until the work is done. And there are people, especially in the Skyview mobile home park, who may be without a home tonight because of the damage from that tornado. And this is what the city of El Reno is doing about it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the Jinx Simmons Fieldhouse, they'll be giving out supplies to tornado victims. They'll be handing out diapers and other toiletries. Just another example of how Oklahomans are coming together here in El Reno. Mecca, back to you.
On the EF scale operational, we're looking at, that's EF3, Damon.
Yeah, officially labeled an EF3 tornado this afternoon, but my partner meteorologist Jonathan Condor called it last night on air. In fact, Jonathan, at one point you wanted to see that damage because you knew it was an EF3. So can you kind of explain how you knew that?
Absolutely. So Chris Lee and Dylan Richards, they were right there and were watching their live reports, and I saw really significant damage. It wasn't just, maybe a garage or something. It was significant. I saw a big brick wall was down, and we can look at the damage and find out how strong the winds were with the EF scale. And it's not just looking at house damage, you're actually looking at different indicators. So I saw, there you go, right there, that's a hotel. So I looked up on the chart and I said, okay, here's a hotel, how bad is the damage? And then I'm like, oh, second floor, walls are gone, the roof is gone. And then I looked at the threshold. You have a lower bound, upper bound, and an average. And the average, it was EF3, potentially EF4. They didn't find any EF4 damage. Now these quick spin-ups, they typically produce all the low-end tornadoes. When it comes to tornado stats, this is rare to get an EF3. Not the strongest QLCS tornado spin-up we've ever seen. That was an F4 in Wisconsin back in 1981. Well,
you all called it, and thankfully you got people to their shelters.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, thank you.
We called in basically USAR, that's the Urban Search and Rescue Team, and they're going to set up a grid. They're going to start at the trailer park area edge and work through that area to make sure that we're got all the numbers.
As a lot came up about.
And we took El Reno Mayor Matt White high up today in Sky 5. We wanted him to see the damage in its entirety. The best way was from above. Mayor White saying it was the first time he realized the extent of that damage. And as you know, 2 people were killed last night, dozens more injured. The roads around the damage are open tonight, but officials urging people to avoid driving in the area. And they've been saying that since early this morning. It's for your safety as well as their recovery efforts. And if you want to hear the whole interview with El Reno Mayor in Sky 5, we have it. Just head to our website, KOCO.com, or jump on the KOCO mobile app. Also, tornado victims left without homes finding refuge at shelters in El Reno. KOCO's Dylan Richards following this story for us tonight.
Survivors staying overnight here at the Jenk Simmons Field House. I just want to show you how many donations they've gotten here. The Red Cross actually telling people they no longer need physical donations just because of the outpouring of water, clothing, diapers, food, all kinds of things, and so many volunteers working to help people who went through one of the worst nights of their lives. At the Jenk Simmons Field House today. Activity everywhere.
About done, I'll need another bag.
Volunteers scrambling to find a place to stay for survivors of the destruction at Skyview Estates.
We've got some people donating furniture that's going there right now and stuff, furnishing the apartments and cleaning them up for you.
Many people, like Sedana and her nephew Robert, still processing what happened to them just about 24 hours ago.
You never think it's going to happen to you, but it does. I've been living in trailers all my life, and this is the first time it's happened to me.
When it happened, they pried themselves out of their trailer to see and hear a disaster zone.
The little kids right there, that was walking around, didn't know what to do. It was just a mayhem out there.
Tonight, some of the mayhem over, but recovery just starting. In El Reno, Dylan Richards, KOCO 5 News.
Dylan, thank you. And the Red Cross helping in El Reno tonight. They posted this picture of a volunteer helping to comfort little Jose Perez and his father. They say their home was destroyed, sadly, last night. The Red Cross says they've had nearly 300 overnight stays in 13 shelters and have served almost 3,000 meals since last Tuesday. And almost all people want to join in to help. The call to help spreading from organizations to the individual Oklahoman. KOCO's Maggie Carlo talking to a man who says he wanted to help in any possible way, and for him, that meant firing up the grill.
The Oklahoma Standard in full effect. I want to introduce you to Mike Powers. Mike, you came out here. Didn't have to, just out of the goodness of your heart, you set up a grill and you're making food out here because you knew there were people that were working that were going to be hungry.
Yes, ma'am. When we saw what happened last night and heard about the tragedy of the lives lost and some of the kids and the families that were displaced, we just wanted to see what we could do to help out, because they're going through a hard time today, and whatever we can do to try to make it easier on them, that's what we're here to do. And plus, we have the first responders and OG&E and these people that are out here, volunteering their time, dedicating their time to get us back up and running, as a community and a family. That's what we're out here to help them do.
We thank you for what you're doing out here and feeding hungry people. I saw the police pull up just a moment ago, gave them some burgers. They say they're going to be out here cooking until they run out of burgers. And matter of fact, they're going to be back out tomorrow again, making sure people that are hungry are well fed. And Mike just moved up here not too long ago with his family. family. And he says since coming to El Reno, his children have thrived in school. He said this is more than a community, it's a family. We're here in El Reno. Maggie Carlo, KOCO 5 News.
Maggie, thank you. And you all have been asking how you can help. And tonight we have an answer for you. The city of El Reno setting up a GoFundMe where you can make a monetary donation. Money and volunteers right now are needed more than any physical donation. Just go to KOCO.com for that link. And the weather really just pounded Oklahoma in general last night. In fact, we showed you storm damage across the metro. This is Greater Mount Olive Baptist Church after last night's storm. It's in northeast Oklahoma City near 42nd and Kelly. And this evening I talked to the pastor. The damage is just outside the church, a sign and some trees torn down, but they're more concerned about the people in El Reno.
And so our prayers are really with those families and individuals that suffered a lot during the loss.
Well, he says the church feels lucky the damage wasn't as bad as it could have been. And again, they are praying for the folks in El Reno. Well, late breaking tonight, a body found in Oklahoma City and police suspect foul play. Officers say the body was in a field near Southwest 59th and Walker. Police are treating this as a homicide. And in Midwest City, police say a child on a bike was hit by a motorcycle. This was near Reno and Midwest Boulevard. Officers say the child has non-life threatening injuries. Well, following a deadly EF3 tornado, straight ahead on KOCO 5 News, Sky 5 and Chase Rutledge take us through the tornado's path.
Pretty calm right now, but another risk late tonight, northwestern Oklahoma. I'm going to show you the tornado flood zone to watch and the day this week that brings the tornado risk really close to Oklahoma City.